Olá, estamos começando mais um episódio do Cics. Esse podcast é uma produção da Câmara de Indústria, Comércio e Serviços de Canoas, a Cics, e nele nós vamos compartilhar conhecimento, experiências e inovações sobre empreendedorismo, sobre todos os temas que cercam a vida do empresário. Em especial, o empresário canoense. Sou Priscila Kieling Pontin, sou diretora de eventos aqui na casa, e vou estar com vocês na próxima hora, junto com o Marcos Netto e os nossos convidados. Vocês vão notar que esse episódio é super especial e super diferente, porque nós temos convidados internacionais. E o Marcos, vai reforçar pra gente como que vai funcionar a dinâmica para você que está nos assistindo e para você que está nos escutando no Spotify.
Minha saudação a todos os telespectadores. Meu nome é Marcos Netto e eu sou o diretor aqui na Câmara de Indústria, Comércio e Serviços de Canoas. E hoje nós teremos a presença aqui de dois convidados muito especiais. Postma e Stan Ehsuis, da Holanda. E eles são empreendedores, são empresários. E nós estaremos conversando sobre as diferenças e as semelhanças entre empreender no Brasil e na Holanda. Eu convido a todos que curtam bastante esta apresentação. Ela estará sendo feita em sua grande parte no idioma inglês, e aqueles que quiserem a sua tradução poderão utilizar na ferramenta, no YouTube, a seleção das legendas em português, ou então simplesmente curtir todo o podcast em inglês, que é o que nós estaremos fazendo. So we are going to start now with our conversation in English, and there's going to be subtitles in English and in Portuguese because the YouTube will provide this for us. So Rob and Stan, welcome.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Obrigado.
Antes de começarmos a nossa conversa, vou fazer uma pausa e um agradecimento para os nossos patrocinadores. Nosso podcast está disponível, lembrando, que está disponível no canal da Cics Canoas, no Spotify e também no YouTube, e tem como apresentador o Sicredi. Também as empresas Modular Cargas, Panceira Seguros, Pontual Telecom, Cicobi Três Fronteiras, São Pietro Hospitais e Clínicas e STV Segurança são os nossos patrocinadores Diamante. Já as empresas BRDE, Contele Contabilidade, Exatron, Fruc Bebidas, Nova Aliança Vinícola, Óticas Vênus, Park Shopping Canoas, Sustecom Engenharia e Construções e o Vieser Supermercados são os nossos patrocinadores ouro. Recadinho para finalizarmos essa nossa introdução, que para vocês acompanharem os nossos episódios, é importante que vocês se inscrevam no canal da Cics Canoas no YouTube e no Spotify, e lá também vocês encontram os links e mais informações, tanto aqui na descrição como para as nossas outras redes e acessos. Marcos, tudo com você, pode começar a nossa conversa.
All right, Priscilla, you might be thinking, how come these two people from the Netherlands, Rob Postma, CEO of Mochadocs company, and also Stan, are here in Canoas? How did this happen? Well, the story starts in the beginning of the year 2025, when one young man from Canoas, his name is João Arthur Netto, I'm proud to say he's my son. He lives in the Netherlands and he's doing business with startup companies. And he called us and he asked me, Dad, there's a company from this city. He lives in the city of Enschede in the Netherlands. This company is expanding the business from the Netherlands to different countries, and they want to expand the business to Brazil. And they would like to have a partnership with a local company. Can you help me to find this company? And I said, yes, let's look for a company. After some research, and the word got out that the Dutch company was looking for a partner. But I wouldn't say unfortunately, but luckily for me, this company, the companies here didn't have much interest on that. So I called Rob, the CEO, and said, I'm interested in finding out what are you guys planning to do in Brazil. So on the month of May last year, they were in São Paulo, and I did go there. We had a meeting, and I got really surprised and interested in what they were about to present to the Brazilian market. So we made a preliminary agreement about representing their business here. Last year, in the month of July, I was in Enschede for a visit, and I had the chance and the pleasure to meet their headquarters. I was very impressed. And in the month of December, I was back again in the Netherlands, and we struck a deal to represent their business here. So that's the reason today we have here in Canoas these people, plus some other members of the team. And they are about to present what they are doing here tomorrow at the event we are organizing here at Cics.
Okay.
But in this process, we have seen, Rob, that is quite different to do business in the Netherlands and in Brazil. What's, in your opinion, the main differences that you've seen so far when doing business here with local people?
Oh, I was not thinking about the people. I was thinking about the process. The administrative part of Brazil is totally different from the Netherlands. And so we also have a company in the United States. To set up a company in the United States takes about 2 minutes and $50. Done.
2 minutes?
2 minutes, $50. That's including the deed. In the Netherlands, it's a little bit longer. It takes about a week because you need to go to the notary and you need to sign, and it takes about 1,500 euros. Here, it's about 3-4 months, something like that. And so as a Dutch entrepreneur going to Brazil, not knowing anything about Brazil, you really need to have advisors. So that was I thought, a very unlucky part for us because it took a lot of time. What we also discovered is that CNPJ is a strong instrument for doing business, especially also from our perspective with contract lifecycle management, because one number says it all. And in the Netherlands, we have, let's say, a lot of people who are fighting for privacy, and they are fighting against easy doing business, because the CNPJ, once it's there, it's quite easy to do that. The second thing, this is the administrative part. The second thing about the people, in the Netherlands, it is like we can close deals the first, I would say, 5 minutes when we meet somebody by phone, never met them before. Then we can ask them, well, do you like it? You want to start? And then they say yes. It's impossible here.
What do you say is impossible? We're doing business now.
Yeah. But it takes more time in Brazil, but it's also more fun in Brazil, because you really get to know each other. Like we have a lot of conversations, but you're not only talking about business. You also talk about children, future, politics, football, whatever. And so you really get to know each other. And I think that is very strong in Brazil because it avoids a lot of problems. So in the Netherlands, if you close a deal that quick, like in 15 minutes, then you don't know the other. It's you rely on that it's going good, and to be honest, it goes very good in many cases. And I'm sure that something also won't go good here in Brazil, even if you have all those conversations. But doing business is more fun. It's more pleasure, because you talk also about other stuff than legal terms and conditions.
I remember going back to the process when you mentioned, I remember when you were looking for an accountant in order to do your legal procedures in Brazil. And you were asking about how much does it cost to have these legal procedures.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
No, but I still remember that it's much more expensive to have an accountant who's doing basically once a month nothing. I mean, we don't have the revenue yet, but we need to pay a lot of money. And we have running businesses in the Netherlands, and the accountant in the Netherlands is cheaper. It's much less expensive. But please help me.
Yes, I remember you asked me, is that the cost to have the accountant and the taxes for 1 year? And then I answered you, no, it's the price to have the business for 1 month.
Yeah.
So it means that the cost here in Brazil, that's what we call the Brazilian cost. It's way higher than in some other places. Any questions, Priscilla?
Nothing so far, but I think, do you feel that Brazilian people is more, how can I say, desconfiado
No.
for business, like...
To do business with the foreign people?
Yeah, like, oh, really? They are really wanting to make business with me here in Brazil. I feel that Brazilian people is open for the hospitality, but is a little bit close for business because of this. I don't know if it's regret the best word to describe it, but like they are not so comfortable for making business with so far away people.
I don't understand. I have an answer to that.
But I would pass this question to Stan, because Stan has lived in Brazil for how long?
1 year. Through the youth exchange program. Yes.
And was this experience you had important for your life today, working as one of the key persons at the Mochadocs related to Brazil?
Oh, that's a good question. I would certainly say that it helps that I know the Brazilian culture and the Portuguese language. So doing business abroad is not only about expanding your products or services, but also about establishing connections and relationships. And I think this cultural aspect, it really comes in place as well. It's not only about translating, right? It's also about using cultural knowledge in order to make the bridge from one country to the other country. Yeah, I think it does help.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you have a very important role in this, because probably you are transferring to Rob some information that he might not know, or sometimes he thinks, no, this is not supposed to be. And then you tell him, this is the way we do that in Brazil, right?
Yes, but I'd like to add something, because we are not Brazilians. So I do understand your assumption that there might be director of a company thinking, well, it's a great solution and it all fits, but they are Dutch. That's why we have presence in Brazil, because I think you're totally right. In the Netherlands, if a Brazilian company would go to the Netherlands and we would do business, we also have the same question. So what we see, I've been working quite some time international, and basically people do business with people. Brazilians do business with Brazilians. Dutch do with Dutch. Germans with Germans. French with French. So because they not only speak the same language, but also the same culture. And therefore, we knew before we even started to go to first time to Brazil, we need to have people on the street here in Brazil. And so the first discovery was to find somebody who can do the business. And we found Marcos. And Marcos is Brazilian. So they don't do business with Rob or Stan. And there is the gap. So we can cross the bridge that way.
Local presence, that's very important.
So it's a very logical question, and I think it's a valid question.
Yes, and in Brazil we have a lot of process for opening and CNPJ, CNPJ. It's strange to say CNPJ.
I think
but we
Rob
have a lot of process and papers that go and papers that come back. So it's to certify that is everything on by the law and everything clear and signed papers and everything. So you said that in abroad it's more simple, this process, or no?
Well, you tend to think it's simple because if I look at the CNPJ, that is simple. It's a number. You even can use it at the supermarket. You use a CPF or CNPJ, and everybody knows exactly what's going on. In the Netherlands, they don't. So it might be even easier to set up a company, but then it's more complex. So I think Brazil should be making it easier for foreign companies to go to Brazil, because I really think it's too much work. At the same time, Brazil has you as a company has the obligation to have a local representative. We selected the lawyer. Because if you have a lawyer, they understand the business, they understand the administration, so they can keep an eye on everything that's going on. Because we don't know the administrative part, but the lawyer, and therefore we selected the Brazilian lawyer, and in this case it's also a Brazilian lawyer who has connections with a Dutch lawyer office in the city where I'm living in. So we really have a very strong, I would say, operation from that point of view. So no, I don't know everything about the administrative stuff, but I do know what we thought about the CNPJ from our contract management point of view. It's a great starting point. Yeah.
So you have another question and another point?
Yes, we were talking about the way that the funds should be transferred for the services that you were going to establish in Brazil. And in the beginning, Rob said, oh, they are just going to pay using the Western Union or Wise or something like this, and it's done. And I told him, wait a second, this is not the way it works. You must have an established company. The company must have a local registration number in the city hall, and then you must have a CNPJ, and then you have to issue an invoice, and then this invoice will generate a bill of sales or nota fiscal, and then in order to get the money, you should issue a boleto, and then what?
It's like
so many papers.
It's like a dance. It's like a dance. It's so much work.
And then every time I tell him, "Are you ready with this?" No, we're working on that because our system is automated, but not for the Brazilian market.
That's true.
Is it? Do you think this is an obstacle for doing business here, or it's just a matter of process?
It's a matter of process. It's a different process. You need to understand the process, and once you understand the process, you put either IT developers on it and to try to make it as convenient as possible. But it's not an obstacle. You know, if you do business with a foreign country, in this case Brazil, you just need to look what's going on and to adapt.
Perfect. Uma mensagem dos patrocinadores?
Yes, sure.
But maybe I would like to add one thing to it. It might be also be the situation that companies won't come to Brazil because of that. Maybe it's a good qualification process.
Oh, yes.
Because if you really have so many thresholds, barriers, then you might, let's not do that. We are so certain that we need to do this, that you take all those steps. That's what you do.
It's an investment, right?
It's an investment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
And we think we can help Brazilian companies, so we can profit from that. The Brazilian companies can profit from them. The local people can profit from that. So I really think that that's a good qualification process from the Brazilian government to have so many obstacles.
Yes, and we need that vision. Is what the most beautiful thing, I will say romantically, is the beautiful thing to make things with other people and other culture, because we learn things too in this process. We learn.
Oh, yeah.
You almost got this question from my mind. I was going to ask you, why do you think that is so important for people from different companies, from different countries, do this sort of interaction? What is the most profitable thing that you can see, that besides the money and the profit, but in order to make them a better companies and better people?
You mean from our point of view while
Yes.
we are here?
Yes.
Well, I might think it's also related to the same subject we discussed, because I was listening and I thought, what is the reason that the Dutch people always go abroad? We as a small country, we go to America, we go to Mexico, we go to Brazil. We always go abroad. One of the things about which we are very strong in is to optimize processes. So we're really good at looking at processes and to think, how can we deal with an easier way to make it more smooth, to make it more solid, predictable, more quality. And that's what we do. And you can see it in the Dutch infrastructure for the cars. All the roads are lean and mean, so you don't have to worry if there's a bump in the road, because if there would be a bump in the road, there will be a sign, let's say 200 meters before the bump. But probably there won't be a bump because they will fix it. So we optimize a lot of processes, and I think that therefore our tool, our software, would be very good for the Brazilian companies as well, because they will profit from our knowledge in optimization processes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to talk about exactly this optimization of process, but I would like to ask Priscila to make a note for our sponsors.
Yes. Então vamos lembrar que quem está nos acompanhando no Cics, esse episódio está disponível no canal da Cics Canoas no Spotify e no YouTube. E nesse primeiro episódio estamos recebendo Postma CEO da empresa Mochadocs, acompanhado do Stan. Sobrenome, Marcos, me ajuda?
Netto, o meu,
do Stan.
Quer que eu fale? Ehsuis.
Ehsuis.
É difícil mesmo.
It's so difficult.
para mim.
Yeah, so okay. Da Holanda. E eles estão expandindo as operações na Ásia, na América do Norte e agora também aqui no Brasil. E a gente vai iniciar uma rodada de bate-papo, uma próxima rodada, e a gente pode continuar lembrando que esse episódio é apresentado por Sicredi, o Cics, né, em geral, assim como todos os eventos aqui da Cics Canoas, as empresas Modular Cargas, Panceira Seguros, Pontual Telecom, Cicobi Transfronteiras, São Pietro Hospitais e Clínica de STV... De novo. São Pietro Hospitais e Clínicas, STV Segurança, e são os nossos patrocinadores Diamante, as empresas BRDE, Contele Contabilidade, Exatron, Fruc Bebidas, Nova Aliança Vinícola, Óticas Vênus, Parque Shopping Canoas, Sustecom Engenharia e Construções, e o Vieser Supermercado são os nossos patrocinadores ouro. A gente vai retomar mais uma rodada de perguntas antes do nosso encerramento final, né? Porque uma hora passa muito rápido.
We were talking before, and you mentioned about the Dutch people are very good in optimization of processes. Before you came here, there was a questionnaire, a survey sent to Brazilian business people, that you were asking them a few questions about their process regarding a specific field of the business, the contracts. everybody has a contract at some time, some point in the life with some business or some personal contract. And what did you notice when you got the answers of this questionnaire that the Brazilian business people and the companies answered to you?
Well, we have an assumption because we are in business since 2013, and we did the same questionnaire in the Netherlands, in the Nordics, and there's an outcome, a certain outcome. And my prediction is that globally it's the same. So globally, companies have a universal issue on contract management.
So you think that the problems that some companies they have in Japan or USA or the Netherlands are in this field the same problems we have here in Brazil?
Well, they are alike. But if you would, it's not on detail not, but if you fly high above it and you look down, you see that they have three main issues. First of all, they have an issue in managing contracts on an end date. Doesn't matter what kind of contract that is. The second is that they cannot find their contracts, so they are located all in the company. It might be in a file cabinet or in a local drive or in a centralized solution, but they really don't know, or everybody else in the company do their own thing. And the third thing is managing contract on content. So the reasons why you're signing contracts, and it's all the same. So we see that companies do not have a centralized approach on that, and it's, from my perspective, it's necessary to have it. But if you don't know it, then you think, oh, I'm doing good business. So what they do normally is if you and I sign a contract, then we pump up the champagne. In your case, we pump up the wine, right? Mm-hmm. And then we celebrate, and then we put the contract in a drawer. But that's wrong. You need to start managing it. But the old days, they put it in a vault. It was so important. They put it in a vault, and it went. They closed it, mm-hmm. But they couldn't get it out. So we see it's a universal problem. It's the same in the Netherlands. It's in the United States the same. In Germany, in the Norwegian countries, everything is the same. The percentage might be a little bit different.
He mentioned the word that I noticed, deadline. And I would say that deadline is much similar to expiration date. Some people, they always think about the deadline when it's already gone. I mean, they wait until they can do anything about that. And by the time they find out, it's too late. One of the most interesting reasons people do that is that because they are not sure if they are gonna complete the task, or if they want to complete, or if they want to renew. For example, you have a passport, you want to travel, you only think about the passport when it's already expired. And then you have to do a last minute trip, you're in trouble. So why do you think that people do not pay attention to these critical details of the contracts, for example?
That's a good question, because I think we all have the same issue on that. We are not focusing on that. And I think that's right. You don't need to focus on that. You need to be alerted. So what we see in contract management is that you don't need to go to the passport to see what the end date is. The passport needs to come to you in time to tell you, oh, Rob, you need to extend my passport because the end date is there. So that means you need to be triggered. And people are not focusing on tight stuff like a passport or a driver's license or a rental contract or a trabajo, the working contract. So they don't focus on that. They focus on getting revenue in, talking to customers, eating picanhas and drinking caipirinhas. So they have different things in life which are much more important. So from our perspective, you need to be notified. So somebody knocks on your shoulder and said, Rob, now it's time.
I would say that this is quite important, especially in a country like Brazil, where we have hundreds, I would say thousands of regulations and legislations. And one of the reasons that the accounting business is so important here is that every day there is a new rule, new regulation, a new law, And sometimes you cannot have the ability to keep up with this, so you need professionals helping you with this. Do you think that your company and the job you do has managed a reasonable way to make this following of the contracts and the dates reasonable, easy, and affordable for the regular customer?
Oh, absolutely. Because if you're looking, it's not about the size of the company. The solution basically for small companies is much cheaper as for large companies, and they have the same functionality. Most important is that the accountant knows the legislation. We don't. We don't know the legislation. We don't know what the rules are, but you can configure the application the way it needs to be configured to have the notification in time. So that means that the accountant would be a very good starting point for their customers, so the entrepreneurs, the companies, to help them to achieve the knock on the shoulder and to be in time. So absolutely, they know the content, they know the legislation. We don't, but we have a very strong solution where you can configure that what you want to achieve.
Very nice. I have a question for Stan. You lived in Brazil for 1 year. You had an experience of being a student and also doing volunteer work in São Paulo. So you already know the way we Brazilians behave and the way people do business in Brazil. And as a Dutch, what would you suggest to Brazilian companies that might think in expanding their businesses and going abroad and doing business in the Netherlands? What they should be aware of, and what would you suggest them to do?
That's a very good question. I think in general, when you do business abroad, so when expanding internationally, whether we, like us, we go to Brazil, so we know about the importance to establish relationships first, and you have some dinner together and drinks and establishing trust. And I think that's universal. I think the other way around, companies from other countries like Brazil, when they do business in the Netherlands, you should take into consideration the pragmatism that we use in doing business. Of course, trust is important as well. Equally important, I would say. But we also just start doing business more efficiently, like in a quicker way. And some countries might regard that as maybe rude or like too quick. But I think that's just in our DNA to do it in an effective and efficient way. So yeah, for the other way around, I think it works like that you have to, we do it in an efficient way, and that's part of our way of doing business, and it's quite normal.
I would like to add as one word in common in Brazil and in the Netherlands. That's what you mentioned, the word trust.
Mm-hmm.
So in Brazil is that you need to earn the trust, and then you can do the business. In the Netherlands, they give you the trust, so you can screw up. I think that's the difference. So that's why we are quicker than the Brazilians. So the Brazilians qualify better. You really need to earn the trust. And in the Netherlands, they already trust you before you even start talking.
I think you can see it when signing a contract as well with another company. The process of how quick it goes until you come to the signature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems to be faster to do business in the Netherlands than in Brazil, in your opinion.
Maybe initially, but who knows for the longer term?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. We can find out.
We have to find out.
To be honest, we have a long list of a lot of customers. They stay. They don't move because I think respect and trust is very important, and to help them as well. So we're not focusing on the revenue. The revenue is the outcome of the things you do, and I think that's in common with Brazil. I think people focus on the content and the relationship. And the outcome will be the money you need to pay or the money you will receive. So basically, that's the same how we act in the Netherlands. Only we close deals very quick. But we also see a lot of companies in the Netherlands who don't treat that nice as it should be. They're just focusing on the revenue. So they want to maximize the deals and close the deals as quick as possible and to collect the money. And if the customer has an issue, well, it's their problem. So we see that as well. And I think it might be also here in Brazil, I don't know, but I think if you do business the way the Brazilians do business, you can avoid it much better, because it takes much longer to sign a contract.
I think the Netherlands and Canoas have lots of things in common. One of them is the fear that we have from the waters that might flood the city, and we have lots of opportunities to learn how to protect ourselves from the floods with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long we have, but
I have to check. Quanto tempo nós temos ainda? 15. Tem um pouco mais de 15.
Okay, so one thing that I would like to ask you is that what have you seen here in Canoas so far? And do you think all the possibilities that we are offering you, the chamber, the Cics, and the city, do you think this is a good place to do business?
Oh, absolutely! It's a perfect way to do the business. It strikes exactly where it is. We do an event, and we don't like to do the sales part of it. We like to do the transfer of knowledge, so that people who are in the event can learn from it. They can make up their own minds, and the moment they start thinking about this subject, contract management or contract lifecycle management, and we present them information, they can make up their own mind if they need to do something with that. And if they need to do something with that, then they invite you probably for picanha. And that's the way you do the business. So I don't see that there's no that much diversity from how we would do it in the Netherlands, because we also would like to educate people on this subject. And we've been in Rio and Sao Paulo before, and we came yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure, but we came here. I loved it. It's clean. The roads are good. It's nice. It's friendly. It's totally different. I don't feel pressure in crime. I don't think there is a lot of pressure in crime in Rio, where we stay, in Ipanema, or in Sao Paulo in Jardins, but. You see all those videos on the internet. You don't feel that at all here. So I think there's a very, very smooth place to live here. So there's a lot of in common. It also if I look at the Canoas and Porto Alegre, and I typed in ChatGPT, explain what's the situation between Rio and Porto Alegre, and then you see that the mixture of the people here, and I'm talking about the employed people, is a little bit middle class. And in Rio, it's upper class or nothing. In the Netherlands, it's middle class. So there's a lot in common. So I really like the environment here.
Priscila, tu poderias repetir os nossos patrocinadores aqui do podcast da Cics?
Claro. Então, nós temos como apresentador o Sicredi, e as empresas Modular Cargas, Panceira Seguros, Pontual Telecom, Cicobi Três Fronteiras, São Pietro Hospitais e Clínicas, e a STV Segurança são os nossos patrocinadores Diamante. Os patrocinadores Ouro são as empresas BRDE, Contele Contabilidade, Exatron, Fruc Bebidas, Nova Aliança Vinícola, Óticas Vênus, Parque Shopping Canoas, Sustecom Engenharia e Construções e o Vieser Supermercados.
I'm glad to say that some of the sponsors of this podcast at the Cics are invited to the event Mochadocs is going to have here tomorrow. And this is very good because it's not about, like you said, about the sales pitch or trying to sell a product, but it's about to sharing some information that might be really relevant for their businesses, and it will add value to whatever they are doing in this operation they have here. Do you think that background our population has with the German and Italian and Polish immigration has something to do with the things that you saw here about the people, the quality of life, or the way we have our way of living here?
Well, I haven't thought about it till you asked the question. Oh, absolutely. I think there's, just when you started asking, I know there's a lot of Italian background here and German, and I don't know about the Japanese, but we had sushi for lunch. But and the food is so good here in Brazil.
We have a little colony of Japanese in Igrejinha, I think. Ivoti, yes.
But I think by asking the question, I would say yes. I think there is European roots here. I think that might be the reason. I don't know.
And the only reason they had sushi for lunch is that because last night they had barbecue. I presented them with churrasco.
It's good that we're not vegetarian, right?
Yeah, and it was too much, but it was good. It was really good, really.
Yeah, and we had vinho gaúcho wine. It was very good, and that's something that I think that is very important for every company to present not only their businesses, but whatever else they have in related to the cultural, to the traditions, and especially to the people, because no matter what you do, the companies are made of people.
Yes.
One of the reasons that our organization here, Cics, the Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Services, is so successful is because we congregate people from different backgrounds, from different companies, no matter if the company has just one employee or 2,500. This is very important, and this is also part of the education of the people to know exactly how important it is to associate when you're trying to do business. I mean, there's no way you can do business alone, and this is very important. And that's something Mochadocs has been doing. Have you done this sort of approach to local business in other countries besides Brazil?
Not yet. This is the first time to do it the way we do it right now. So for us, it's also the first time. We said we need to learn a lot. Mm-hmm. We had a general event in Rio, and it went very smooth. But I agree with you. It's doing business with people, and it doesn't matter if the company is 1 person, 10 persons, 2,500. We have small companies like up to 15 employees. We have Fortune 500 customers, large American companies or German companies or Dutch companies, but we treat them the same way. They are people. They have a problem, they have an issue, so we need to solve it.
Rob already mentioned that here we feel that we have to earn the trust first, so we can make business. But here at Cics, at this club, this association, we are more close to the main thing that you chat and you make friends maybe, and we know each other's company, we study together, we do a lot of things after, and then you make some deal or not.
Yeah.
So the first thing you establish a connection, and the revenue is result of that.
Yeah. It's exactly the way I said it. Yeah. Exactly. It's not the I know we've been working for a lot of American companies, and they only have one thing in mind. What they call, you're as good as your last quarter. It's not about you. It's about your results.
It's about the bottom line.
Yeah. And so if your last quarter was not good, if you have the other quarter is not good, you're out. But they don't know why. They don't care about why, and we care about why. We care about the people. It's we have one customer in the Netherlands, and we have customer support for free. And the reason why we have it is that if you have a lot of tickets for customers, then we have an issue with the software because probably something is wrong because they knock on your door. So we don't want to have the customer knocking on our door. So that's a perfect good balance. We have one customer who is really grabbing our hands. Need to help us. I would say every 14 days. It's perfect. Because we have a lot of customers on the other hand who don't do that. So if you put it all together, you balance that, and it's okay. This customer just is a little bit insecure, where you help them a little bit more. So I do understand that. So the revenue is the outcome. It's the result. It's not important. It will, whatever the revenue will be the revenue. Yeah.
You were mentioning that people, they do not interact before doing business. I mean, they have to interact. The Americans, the English language has a word for that. It's called small talk. But the Americans, they don't like it. They just go straight to the point. A few years ago, I took a course on doing the business abroad, sponsored by Cics, the Industry Federation in Rio Grande do Sul. And I remember one of the classes, they were teaching us how to do business with people from Asia, from China. And they said, unless the Chinese trust you, they will not do business with you. And then everybody asked, how can we be trusted by the Chinese? And the lady speaking to us said that one thing you can do, you can drink with them, get drunk. And once, according to the culture, once you get drunk, you lower your barriers and they can see exactly who you are. So this is, I don't recommend getting drunk, but as a matter of fact, here at the Cics, we have a wine group that meets every month, and we do very nice wine tastings. I do recommend that. We don't get drunk, but then you have a chance to meet the people, like Rob mentioned a couple of times before, with picanha and caipirinha, and then you can see the way, the real person you are trying to deal with. And this is very important because if you don't trust the other, there's no way you can do business. No matter what type of contract you make, it's impossible.
You don't do business with enemies. You don't do it.
Well,
you just do.
You fight the enemies.
You fight the enemies. So you don't do business. So you only do business with friends. That's what you do basically. And I think the word friends in Brazil is much better because the investment in the person up front is much higher than the Netherlands. And also in the Netherlands, you can become friends after doing business with each other. I also have experience with that. It's about your attitude, but the way doing business is different.
Okay, and Stan, you live in Amsterdam. If you make new friends here, what would you suggest them to do when visiting you in Amsterdam?
Oh, they always have they want to go maybe to a coffee shop. I wouldn't suggest that actually. What to do in Amsterdam? There's lots to do. You can go to museums, you can go to the beach, it's quite close. Have a walk along the canals. It's a beautiful, picturesque city. It's quite busy, full of tourists. I might even suggest them to have a look in Enschede. It's also a Dutch city, of course, where you're located. Very different from Amsterdam. Have a look around. There's more than only Amsterdam, but it's a great city.
Okay, we're approaching to the end of this podcast. As Priscilla said, 1 hour just goes flying like this. Would you like to leave a message to our potential friends and maybe some new customers here in Canoas in Brazil?
Well, by the time they're watching this podcast, it's too late to attend the event. So the message would be, we need to have a new event later on, and so they can attend. So based upon this conversation, and of course the subtitles of this conversation, they might be interested and take it to the next league.
Okay. Well, from my part, I would like to thank very much for your presence here, for everything that you've been bringing to our city. And if we can be of any help for your company and for other companies, and that's something that could be an example for companies from other countries in the world, come to Canoas. We have a very good structure here. and we are eager to do business and improve the quality of life of our citizens and the companies and everybody who trusts that doing business freely and being a good company and good citizens is good for everybody.
Sounds
Thank
like
you
a
very
good plan.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I will thank you. I will thank you too, and thank you. Agradecer a vocês da nossa audiência que estão nos acompanhando. Lembrando que esse episódio, né? E para você ser notificado sobre os próximos episódios, você precisa se inscrever no nosso canal do YouTube, o canal da Cics Canoas, e também no Spotify. Então você consegue receber todas as notificações de novos conteúdos. Os links e mais informações estão aqui na descrição desse vídeo. E o Cics é uma produção da Cics Canoas e tem como apresentador o Sicredi, novamente agradecendo tanto o nosso apresentador quanto também as empresas Patrocinadoras Diamante, que são Modular Cargas, Panceira Seguros, Pontual Telecom, Cicobi Três Fronteiras, São Pietro Hospitais e Clínicas e a STV Segurança, e também os nossos patrocinadores Ouro, que são as empresas BRDE, Contele Contabilidade, Exatron, Fruc Bebidas, Nova Aliança Vinícola, Óticas Vênus, Park Shopping Canoas, Sustecom Engenharia e Construções e Vieser Supermercados. Eu agradeço a todos vocês aqui da mesa, a vocês aí do outro lado. Muito obrigada pela audiência e até a próxima.
Até a próxima.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Obrigado.